right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Law, and we are going to begin with our misdemeanor calendar. This is called the Expedited Accusation Calendar, which is essentially our first appearance matters. These are cases in which individuals were recently arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail. Soon after being booked in, their cases have been formally accused by the prosecutor, who is the Solicitor General of Fulton County. This will be the defendant's initial appearance where I will inform the defendant of his new case number, the charges brought against him, to appoint counsel when necessary, set a bond, and also to provide a new court date if required. Ms. Bridgewater, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. The SAP reset date is June the 10th.
Now, with regards to bond, we are going to be looking at the individual's criminal record history and the nature of the charges as set forth in the warrants and the initial pleadings. Bonds could be either a signature bond in which the defendant would not have to pay for the bond today, but you must comply with the conditions of the bond. If you fail to comply or if you get arrested again, the signature bond can be surrendered and converted to either a cash bond, surety bond, or no bond at all. For those who do not qualify for a signature bond, you may receive a surety or cash bond, and you would have to pay for the bond either out of your own pocket or through a bonding company. In the event that you are unable to make bond, your next court date will be June 10th at 9 a.m. at the Fulton County Jail. That will be a virtual proceeding. So if anyone plans to attend, they should obtain a Zoom link from the clerk's office for June 10th at 9 a.m. And it's called the State All-Purpose Calendar or SAP calendar. For individuals who are appearing on the Zoom, if you are not an attorney, if you are not courthouse staff, in other words, you may be an alleged victim, a friend, a family member, please mute your screen and switch your video off. Mute your screen and switch your video off. When we address the defendant whom you want to be involved in the proceeding, then you should come on and make sure you turn your video on and so forth. All right. Courtroom 2, for the individuals who are there, when I address your case, please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you in the treatment of your case. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to represent you. Mr. Park, I did see an attorney from Jason Park.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon.
For Ray Choi. I don't see him in the screen.
Have you had a chance to confer with him?
Yes, I have, Judge.
All right. So if there are any interpreter cases where, yes, Ms. Russell?
Hi, how are you doing, Judge Law? Good evening or good afternoon. Your Honor, I'll be handling that case. There is that interpreter on the Zoom, but I have not had a chance to speak with Mr. Choi's parents. I'm asking for a breakout room just for a quick second to have that interpreter just have a conversation with the victims, Your Honor, in this matter, and then we will be right back on.
All right.
But we just haven't had a chance since it's been only she was available at 2:00.
Which positions do you have?
I just have Choi, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm just handling that.
All right. Mira, the Korean interpreter, and the individuals who are the alleged victims in this case.
That's Mi Jung Song, Your Honor.
Mi Jung Song.
Yes.
Miss Mira, good afternoon. If you could just sound out for the parents of Mi Jung Song to appear on video, then we can put them in a breakout room to speak with Prosecutor Russell.
Sure.
You may sound out in Korean because I don't know if they understood.
최희재 씨 들리시나요? 비디오 키세요. 비디오하고 오디오 키세요.
I did see her on earlier.
I see them. Let me try to call them.
Okay. All right. When they appear, then Miss Russell and Miss Mira will put you into a breakout room. So who's hosting today? Is it Miss Grace? Yeah. Miss Grace, please put them in a breakout session. It will just be the Korean interpreter and Prosecutor Russell.
Just those two in the breakout for now?
Correct. And the individuals who are appearing on screen, Mi Jung Song.
Okay, those three right now. Okay, Judge.
Okay.
예, 따로 방에 들어가셔가지고 좀 상담을 할 겁니다.
네.
예, okay, they're ready.
All right. Miss Mira, you can take over.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Courtroom
Thank you,
two.
Judge. I'll be on standby.
All right. Thank you.
Excuse me, Judge, do the interpreter need to go in as well?
The interpreter, Mi
Yes.
Jung Song, and Daniel Russell only,
Okay, not Mr. Parks.
not Mr. Park. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Okay, courtroom two. Let's get cracking before we get us another pause.
Position 12, Judge.
Well, thank you, sir. We have Nicole Nichols accused of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer from May 27th of this year. Her accusation number is 25 CR 3016G. Ms. Nichols, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Michael McLean. Good afternoon, Mr. McLean.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
All right, and good afternoon, Mr. Nixon. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
All right. Oh, may I have a GCIC first? Who is pretrial today? Mr. Howard.
Yes.
Mr. Howard? Yes, sir.
For
Forsyth?
2020, yeah, 2020 FTA, 2019 battery DV conviction, 2017 battery DV conviction.
Thank you. Mr. Nixon? Yes, sir. What's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's going to ask for a $500 surety bond for the obstruction. On May 27, 2025, the officer was dispatched to 2301 Godby Road in response to a verbal dispute. Upon arrival, the officer made contact with Aubrey Atkins and the witness, Ms. Jessica Jaquez, and Ms. Atkins stated that her father, Mr. Carlos Atkins, called her and asked for $5 to buy some crack. She gave him the money and later received a message from Ms. Nicole Nichols, the defendant here, who is the father's girlfriend, instructed her to remove her belongings from the house. And Ms. Atkins arrived at the apartment E16 to retrieve her items. Her father lunged at her, grabbed her by the throat, picked her up, and threw her over the patio. He then jumped over the patio, punched her, and choked her. Ms. Nichols was asked about Mr. Atkins' whereabouts by the officer, and she said she had left the scene when the police arrived. Now, both Ms. Atkins and Jaquez insisted that Mr. Atkins was still in the home and that Ms. Nichols was lying. Officers explained to the defendant the consequences of providing false information, reminding her that during a previous incident, when Mr. Atkins had assaulted her, Ms. Atkins reported it and Ms. Nichols lied about that. Officers then requested Ms. Nichols open the home, open the door, and they received consent from Ms. Nichols, and there they found Mr. Atkins. The state's asking for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons filed on bond.
All right. Mr. McLean, there's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Ms. Nichols, although you got a release bond, this is now an open, active case against you. And please make sure that you come to court when summoned and you provide us with your written mailing address in writing within 30 days of being released. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position 13, next, Judge.
Thank you. Right. This is State versus Tamika Olokodana, accused of simple battery family violence from May 27th of this year. Ms. Olokodana, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. McLean. Mr. Howard, any prize?
Second arrest. She had a public order crime obstruction out of Alabama. That's it.
Okay. Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's going to ask for a $2,000 signature bond. May 27, 2025, Corporal Jones responded to 3428 Augusta Street in reference to a domestic. Upon arrival, Corporal made contact with Mr. Abdulatif Olokodana. who stated that he was in a physical altercation with his wife in front of their juvenile children. While speaking with Mr. Olokadana, he noticed that his shirt was ripped and he was sweating profusely. The victim is married to the defendant here, who stated that the shirt was also ripped in the altercation. Mr. Olokadana stated that his wife was upset that he was calling the police and ripped the shirt herself. The defendant did admit to forcefully grabbing Mr. Olokadana. Mr. Olokadana stated the argument started over money. Olokadana would not give him the money back. And then the physical altercation ensued. Mr. Olokadana stated that this abuse occurs regularly. Both parties currently live in the same home together with 3 juvenile children who witnessed the physical confrontation. Officers did speak with the victim. The victim and defendant are married. They live together at the incident location. They share 2 children. Let's see, the defendant has 2 other children that do not belong to the defendant. The victim confirmed the events in the warrant, and the victim stated that the defendant has been violent with him multiple times, but this is the second time that he has called the police. And the victim stated that the first time he called the police was because the defendant took his green card and would not give it back. Now, the victim stated that he does not fear for his safety, but wants no violent contact. I believe the victim will be on Zoom. Therefore, the state is going to ask for no further violent contact with the victim, anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on.
All right, Mr. Olokadana, if you are on Zoom, this is the time to unmute and start your video. All right, Mr. McLean, any objection to a DVIP?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Olokadana, your bond is going to be set at 2,000, the signature bond through pretrial services level 1. You will report to pretrial once a month upon your release. You're also not to consume any illegal drugs, no alcohol, and you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons. No violent contact with your spouse, Mr. Olokadana, and within 30 days, you will enroll and begin your domestic violence intervention classes. These are a series of 26 classes, and you will attend and complete each one without missing or skipping them at your expense. Your next court date will be sent to your current address. Please don't forget to show up in court. Otherwise, you could lose your signature bond. Thank you.
We can go to position 1, Judge. Judge, we do have Mr. Choi here. You guys want to go ahead and set up the breakout session for
Mr. Choi, let me see. Miss Grace, could you send a message to Miss Russell's breakout and let her know that we are ready for Mr. Choi's case?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. What was that number we were getting ready to address? Position 1. Okay.
1?
And as soon as Prosecutor Russell comes out, then we can address this matter, Mr. Choi's matter. All right, Abigail Adkins is accused of hit and run, failure of the driver to return to the scene of the accident. From January 17th of this year, case 25 CR 3020B. Ms. Adkins?
Judge, we represent Miss Atkins.
Oh, you do?
Ross Durance for Miss Atkins.
All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Atkins, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Attorney Ross Durance on the Zoom screen. And Mr. Howard, any priors?
No.
Okay, first arrest. Miss Nixon? Oh gosh. Oh, Miss Howard. All right, Miss Howard, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This incident occurred on January 17th. Patrol was dispatched to a hit and run at Hammond Drive and Peachtree Dunwoody Road. They met with Pleasant Rashawn, I think it's Rashawn Pleasant, who's the victim, who stated she was driving her silver Toyota Corolla on Hammond Drive, approaching the intersection with Peachtree Dunwoody Road when she changed lanes into the right turning lane to turn onto Peachtree Dunwoody. And as she slowed down to yield to other vehicles, she was rear-ended. She pulled over in order to exchange information, but the other car kept driving. Ms. Pleasant was able to write down a license plate. She gave officers that license plate. It was RGC 6043. Officers ran the plate through GCIC and it returned to a black Mazda sedan. Officers were able to access the PDR street camera and observe the accident in the black sedan in the right turning lane. They were able to see the car turn right onto Concourse Parkway, and then they saw the car again on Hammond Drive and Concourse Parkway East. Officers contacted the registered owner of the vehicle, which is a Mr. Campbell. He denied driving the car that day and denied that anybody else could possibly be driving the car as he had the keys to the vehicle. He told officers that the vehicle was left on Denmark Drive. Officers informed him that it was likely no longer there, and he should report his car as missing if it was not there. Mr. Campbell then called officers and reported the car stolen shortly afterwards. Officers went to his apartment to speak with him and his wife, which is the defendant, Miss Atkins. They also went to the location of the vehicle, which was 440 Ashwood Dunwoody Road, located at Perimeter Center, to visually inspect the vehicle. And they noticed the vehicle had heavy front end damage. It was missing the front bumper, and they had a light transfer consistent with the color of Miss Pleasant's vehicle. Officers did also notice that the car did not seem to be stolen. None of the windows were broken. There was no damage to the doors, and the steering column of the vehicle was intact. They also made note that the car's driving seat was in a position that looked like it was accommodating a person of a shorter stature. Officers checked the parking lot camera footage, and they noticed two people on the parking deck at about 11:01 appearing in the car, and it was a white male in the passenger seat and a white female as the driver. So based on the inconsistency of the story that Mr. Campbell provided and the fact that he had both keys of the car, officers requested his phone records and Miss Atkins' phone records, and they were able to place Miss Atkins at the actual scene of the accident on the date of the accident. Her phone records put her there, and they placed a call at no, I'm sorry, it was just placing her at the scene of the accident. So officers determined that Ms. Atkins was actually involved in the hit and run. Being that this is her first arrest, the state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond. We're asking for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while the defendant is out on bond. And that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
Right. Mr. Durance, the bond is going to be set at $2,000. It's a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. No driving unless she has a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration. Next court date will be sent to her current mailing address, so please be sure that she has a current one.
Yes, Judge, thank you so much. And can I be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you all.
You too.
We got position 9 next, Ms. Graham.
999. And Deputy, we can take up our interpreter case, Korean interpreter case after this. Jennifer Graham is accused of theft by taking from April 27th of this year, accusation 25 CR 3014J. Ms. Graham, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean. Mr. Howard?
8th arrest, 2017 theft by taking, dismissed. 07 theft, dismissed.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. On May 27th, officers were dispatched to a McDonald's at 5210 Windward Parkway in Milton, Georgia. When they arrived, they were met by the manager, Mr. Cedric Turner, and the owner, Mr. Edwin Gordon, who stated that they had video evidence of Ms. Graham seen on at least 3 different occasions, turning her back to the camera and visibly folding cash from the that was supposed to be deposited in the safe. She was tucking it in her clothing. The owner stated that there are systems in place that tell them how much cash is taken in during the shift, and that exact amount should be deposited into the safe. And at that particular time, they had a total amount of $690 that was missing from the shifts that the defendant was working. The state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond. We're asking for no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond, a stay away from the incident location, and a anti-theft course. And that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, according to the PSA, the public safety assessment, I don't see any prior misdemeanor or felony convictions and no FTAs. So if that's accurate, she would deserve a signature bond on this, Your Honor. She's 50 old and local.
Anything else? Okay. No. Bond is set at $1,500. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. No further contact with Cedric Turner, and to stay away from the incident location. If she gets arrested again for anything else, please remember to bring $1,500 in cash to the jail. Next court date will be sent to her current mailing address, so make sure we have her current location, residential location. Thank you. All right. Do we say Mr. Choi's is ready for Ray Choi?
I think he's in the back. We're ready.
Yeah. Now, who needs the interpreter?
The victim, the alleged victim, the mom and dad, Miss Song Mi Jung and Mr. Hee Jae Choi.
But the defendant is conversant in English.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Mira, if you please
Yes,
raise
Your
your
Honor.
hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
All right, you'll need an okay. Mr. Choi, Ray Chi Hun Choi, is charged with 2 counts of simple battery family violence from May 26, 2025, in Fulton County, Georgia. Ms. Mira?
예, 지금 이제 그 레이 초이님이 5월 26일 날 2025년도에 간단한 그 폭력 사건, 가족 폭력 사건으로 지금 기소됐습니다.
Mr. Choi is got a right to remain silent. Anything he says in open court, his statements can and will be used against him.
예, 지금 미스터 최께서는 묵비권을 행사하실 권리가 있으시고 그다음에 진술하시는 어떤 내용이라도 나중에 그 법정에서 본인한테 불리하게 작용할 수 있습니다.
Yes, sir. Mr. Song, you don't have to respond. In fact,
답변 안 하셔도 돼요. 예, 지금 송 선생님하고 사모님하고 아버님께서는 답변 안 하셔도 돼요.
Mr. Choi has a right to an attorney. If he cannot afford one, one would be appointed to represent him, but presently his attorney is Jason Park.
예, 지금 이제 미스터 레이첼 씨는 변호사를 선임할 권리가 있으신데 변호사를 선임할 형편이 안 되면 관선 변호사를 받으실 자격이 있으신데 지금 현재 변호사 박 선생님 고용하셨대요.
Mr. Park, how old is your client?
He's 18, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to require this matter to be in a breakout. Deputy, Mr. Choi can remain in courtroom 2. Miss Grace, if you could put Jason Park, Danielle Russell, Miss Mira, the Songs, and me in a breakout room, please.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Howard, no priors, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. McLean, will you look at the note I sent you in the chat, please?
Yeah, we had 3 of those yesterday or none?
That is correct. Yeah, we had 3.
3? Okay, yeah. I was thinking of the day before. Okay, very good. I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll have to open up my laptop.
Damn.
Is Mr. Park with us? No. Miss Grace, is Mr. Park on the Zoom? Jason Park?
I just checked, Judge. They're still in the breakout room. I'm gonna release them.
And they need Do we have any other interpreter cases? ACDC, we good? Deputy French?
Good afternoon, Judge.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and tell you, the folks there their rights. I'm still waiting on defense counsel to appear. Good afternoon. These are for the individuals at Fulton ACDC. We're going to be addressing each of your cases on a one-on-one basis. Please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court about your cases, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. So I'll be addressing your cases shortly. I'm going to go back to Ray Choi. Mr. Choi, can you hear me? My name is Judge Lal. If you can look at the screen, I need to make sure you're paying attention. Do you speak English? Was that a yes? You need to say yes.
You have to say yes or no.
Ray, do you speak English?
Yes.
Do you understand English?
Yes.
All right. I hope you understand this. Your current bond is going to be set at $5,000. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. I will allow for telephonic reporting. You report to pretrial services once a month by telephone. Within 72 hours, you'll be seen by your mental health provider. And within 30 days, you will enroll in an appropriate program in which confirmation must be provided to the pretrial services as well as to prosecutor Danielle Russell. You are not to consume any illegal drugs, no alcohol, and not own and possess any firearms. You're also not to get arrested again, otherwise you will be back in jail. And the next time you may stay in jail a lot longer than the last few hours you've been here. Go ahead and place Honey iPhone in the waiting room. Place Honey iPhone in the waiting room, please. Thank you. Mr. Ray Choi, are you listening? Look at the screen. I need to see your eyes. Okay, good. I want you to understand that we're going to release you on a signature bond. You are to have no violence at home. None. Now that you are in jail, you have made me your problem as well. Do you understand? Before, the courts were not involved, the judge was not involved, no defense attorney were involved. But now that this incident has occurred, I am going to be your biggest problem. Because if there is any violence by you against your mom, your dad, or anyone else in your home, or anyone else for that matter, you are going to give me a very good reason to bring you back to jail. Do you understand?
Yes.
You cannot hit anyone. You cannot yell. You cannot raise your voice. You cannot break anything. You cannot damage anything. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you violate this, you have just bought yourself a one-way ticket back to Fulton County Jail. Do you understand?
Yes.
When you go home, you're going to listen to everything that your mother and your father tell you. No questions asked. Understood?
Yes.
You will be compliant with all medication, all treatment, and all the orders that your father and mother tell you. You understand?
Yes.
Good luck with your case. I don't want to see you back in jail. Thank you. Mr. Park, the case will be reset to further notice with the presiding judge. Touch wood, he's not back. All right.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Park, please go ahead and explain what's going on to the songs, okay?
I will communicate that to the parents, Judge.
Ms. Mira, thank you so much for being here. You have a great day.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you for having me. Have a
Thank you, Judge. That's my only case. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Ms. Russell, did you have any other cases?
No, Your Honor. Thank you. I'm gonna still stay on, but
How's my Korean there?
it was great. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, courtroom 2. Who are we addressing first? Deputy courtroom 2 or ACDC?
Position 2, Mr.
Okay.
Barrett.
This is Arian Barrett, and Mr. Barrett has got 5 misdemeanor charges against him stemming from a May 7th, 2025 incident. This is case number 25 CR 3018B. Mr. Barrett, you've got the following charges: battery against a female who's pregnant, theft by taking, battery, family violence, and 2 counts of simple battery, family violence. You have been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Shatay.
Got an open burglary, second degree out of the cab, and suspended license out of force.
Okay. Any FTAs?
No.
All right. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on May 7, 2025. Officers responded to a call of a dispute at Alton East Apartments, Unit 1241. The apartments are located at 777 Memorial Drive. They met with security when they arrived on scene, and security stated that due to receiving several noise complaints and actually approaching the unit, she heard a woman's voice saying, "Just let me go." So she called the police. Officers made contact with Miss Leon at the unit. Her name, I'm sorry. Made contact with Miss Leon at the unit. They knocked on the door. She opened the door, and she informed officers that she had recently gotten into a dispute with her boyfriend, who she'd been in a relationship for 2 years, which is the defendant Arian Barrett here. She stated that she broke up with him, and he agreed to meet her at her apartment to retrieve his items from her home. When she pulled into the parking garage of the residence, he was already there waiting for her. She drove her vehicle up to the 3rd level, and told him he can get his belongings. She would get the belongings from the apartment and bring them back out. He did not like that. He disagreed. He took a set of keys from the front pocket of the shirt she was wearing, and when she attempted to grab the keys back, he reached his arm back and struck her with a closed fist. The keys were in between his fingers at the time and caused a bruise on her arm. He then exited the parking garage with her keys, so she didn't have access to the building. She had to be let in by another resident. When she got to her apartment, she found him inside collecting his items, and he was asking about a necklace that he gifted her for Valentine's Day. She told him she didn't know where it was, and he got more agitated. And while she was sitting on the bed, he walked over and snatched her cell phone from her hand and took her money from her purse. She attempted to grab her phone back, and then he grabbed her by the neck and pushed her away 3 times forcefully. And at that point, she noticed that he did have a firearm on him. He didn't pull it or point it at her, but he did tell her, that the firearm was there, and to stop before she makes him drop the gun and it goes off. When he attempted to walk towards the door with her items, and she blocked the door. She stood in front of it, and he slapped her across her face. He returned to the apartment a little while later, continuing to ask for the necklace. At that point, Ms. Leon contacted her family by her laptop, and her brother. She informed him that her brother was on the way, and he left the scene. Officers did observe bruising to her right arm, and Ms. Leon did state that she was 7 weeks pregnant at the time. We did speak to the victim today. She stated that they are no longer in a relationship. They do not live together. She is currently expecting, and it is the defendant's child. She confirmed the events in the warrant, and she stated that he has been violent with her before, one time before, but the police were not called. She has received all of her items back. She stated she's not in fear of the defendant and is okay with having contact. We believe she's joined us on Zoom here today. In light of the events that occurred, the state's recommendation is a $5,000 surety bond, no further violent contact with the victim. We're asking to stay away from her residence, which is the incident location, enrollment in an FVIP course, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. And we'll sound for the victim. Ms. Zaria Leon. Thank you.
Ms. Leon, if you're on Zoom, this is the time to unmute and start your video. Ms. Zaria Leon. All right, are you in bed? Can you please get out of bed?
Hello.
Yes, are you in bed?
Yeah.
Get out of bed.
I'm
Yes.
sitting on the bed.
I don't care whether you're sleeping, lying, or sitting. The bed is not an appropriate piece of furniture in a courtroom. Okay. Did you want to address this proceeding?
Can you hear me?
Did you want to address this proceeding?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Lower your device so we can see your face. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like to tell us other than what the prosecutor has said? You can put your hand down.
I would just like to drop the charges against him.
All right. That decision's with the prosecutor, not with you.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Chate?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Barrett would like to ask this court to consider the lowest bond possible. He's 21 years old, and as we heard from pretrial, he has a very limited history, criminal history. He's a lifelong Atlanta resident. He has a high school diploma, and he did some college at Georgia State studying business. And for the past 2 months, he has worked as a manager in the construction industry. And no objection to the state's other conditions. However, we would like to ask for no further violent contact instead, if they are seeking no further contact, because Mr. Barrett tells me that because she's expecting a child, he would like to have contact.
Okay. On count one, that's going to be 2,000. On count two, theft by taking is 500. That's a 2,500 surety bond. On count 3, 4, and 5, that's going to be 1,500 each. And that's going to be a 4,500 signature bond through pretrial services level 3. So this is going to be a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 split bond. No further contact with Zaria Leon to stay 200 yards away from the entire Alton East Apartments at 777 Memorial Drive, and no contact with any child or children that he shares with Miss Leon. If he wishes to have any contact with the child as soon as it's born, then make sure he files the proper legitimation action to obtain a court order to establish paternity and a parenting plan, as well as child support and other matters. Within 30 days of being released on bond, he will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program. And this is a 26-week program where he will attend and complete all classes at his expense. He is not to consume any illegal drugs, not to consume any alcohol, and he will be subject to random screens by pretrial. He's not allowed to own, possess, or have any firearms on his person. So if he owns a gun, given the fact that he's got an open felony case, that's not going to look good. So if he owns or possesses any firearms, they must be surrendered to the local authorities for destruction. This next court date is going to be June 10th.
What level was that?
Level 3, reporting once a week. Thank you, Mr. Chate. Ms. All right. Francois, I'm sorry, who do we have?
This is going to be position number 11. Kamezi.
Okay. Megan Jasmine Pomezi. Pomezi, okay. 2 counts of simple battery family violence from February 11th of this year, 25 CR 3015Y. Ms. Pomezi, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Maureen McLeod. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Third, 2014 theft of services. 2011 simple battery DV dismissed.
Okay. Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor, state's going to ask for $1,000 surety bond for the simple battery family violence and another $1,000 surety for the simple battery family violence on February 11th, 2025. Officers were dispatched to a domestic call at 250 Gemstone Place. Upon arrival, the officer made contact with the defendant and she answered the door. And only a shirt ripped down the front, crying with a red mark on her chest. She advised that she was trying to move out and that she and her girlfriend, I'll spell the name Arlexia, last name Kemp, Kemp, were involved in a verbal dispute that turned physical. And the defendant advised that she left the residence for the weekend. And when she returned home, Ms. Kemp had put her personal belongings in trash bags and hid some of her items. She stated that her and Ms. Kemp were arguing about having relatives and friends come to help, and the defendant removed her items from the home. Defendant advised that she approached Ms. Kemp demanding her items, and Ms. Kemp grabbed her by the collar of her shirt and threw her to the ground, causing the front of her shirt to be ripped. Now, the defendant advised that she has a firearm in the home and would defend herself if needed. And Ms. Kemp advised that the defendant had threatened her on multiple occasions with physical harm by relatives as well as by the defendant directly. Ms. Kemp stated at the time the defendant's shirt ripped. The defendant hit her while she was trying to get away from her. Ms. Kemp also advised on the morning, February 11, 2025, the defendant threatened to shoot her if Ms. Kemp touched her items again. Ms. Kemp also stated that while the defendant was on the phone with 911, she continuously hit her in the head and face area with a closed fist or closed hand. Due to the red mark on her chest and ripped shirt on the defendant, Ms. Kemp was deemed the primary aggressor, but warrants were also taken out on the defendant as well. State's going to ask for no further contact with the victim and stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. I would ask the court for a signature bond for my client. This incident happened in February, according to the warrant, and my client was the one who initially called the police. She is no longer in contact with Miss Kemp. She lives at a totally different address. My client is employed. She works in banking, Your Honor. She has good contact information and she has no convictions on her record. So I think a signature bond would be appropriate, Your Honor. Nothing further.
On each count is 1,500. This is going to be a 3,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 3. She's to attend and complete 2 anger awareness classes, report to, I'm sorry, that was level 1. Level 1. She's to report to pretrial once a month. She's also to complete 2 anger awareness classes with pretrial services. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and firearms. So, Ms. Pomezi, once you're released, you are to surrender all firearms that you own to the authorities for destruction and produce a receipt that your firearm has been surrendered to the local precinct, and that must be done by your second visit with pretrial. Your next court date will be sent to the Gemstone Place. If you change address, make sure you let the courts know in writing. Thank you.
Your Honor, she tells me that she no longer has a firearm.
Well, that's good. Then that should keep things clean then. All right.
That's
Thank
no
you, Your
contact?
Honor.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No contact. They already don't have any contact,
Okay.
so that's fine.
No contact with L. Rexla Kemp. ALREXLA and, Kemp, like that guy. Okay. Thank you.
Got position 3 next, Judge, Mr. Bronson.
Cameron Brunson's accused of loitering and prowling from May 26 of this year, 25 CR 3024E. Mr. Brunson, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Chate. Any prize, Mr. Howard?
I got second arrest. He's on probation out of Richmond County for burglary.
Okay. And Ms. Harrison, do you agree?
I didn't hear him. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Cycles, and he's open probation for burglary out of
Yes.
Richmond County.
Yes, that's what we have, Your Honor.
Okay. And what's your recommendation?
The state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond. Stay away from the incident location permanently. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. This incident occurred on May 27th. At 11:28 p.m., public safety observed Mr. Brunson, the defendant, entering the exhibition hall located at 460 4th Street Northwest. That's on Georgia Tech campus. Georgia Tech Police Department, Communications Department, monitored him through video cameras and observed him wandering onto several floors of the building. When they asked him for a badge or anything to show his affiliation with the campus, he was unable to provide that. Then that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
Mr. Chate, is your client living in Augusta, Georgia, or here?
I think he lives in the Atlanta area, Your Honor. I asked him if he had a mailing address here. He said he did. He also asked me to have a social worker visit him for housing recommendations, and I've been meaning to get in touch with our social workers to do that. But he is 24 years old. He's a high school graduate, and he currently doesn't have a job. Most recently, he worked at a McDonald's, and he did that for about 3 years. So I would ask for the lowest bond possible for his case, and I will ask a social worker to visit him.
1,500 signature bonds with pretrial services, level 1. Within 30 days, he must provide the court with a current residential address in writing. He's to stay away from all Georgia Tech property, including 464th Street. So he's not allowed at any Georgia Tech property. Every month that he visits pretrial, he must show proof that he has attempted at least 5 times to try to get a job. He must show proof of with whom he's applying and what was the result of that application. Next court date will be sent to his mailing address. Right now, we have an Augusta address. So if he wants to get his summons sooner, he needs to give us his address as soon as possible. Thank you.
Holly, that's per judge since he's on probation for burglary.
Understood. Thank you.
I have position number 16, Swanson.
Okay. Queen Swanson is accused of battery family violence from May 26 of this year, 25 CR 3023H. Ms. Swanson, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any prize, Mr. Howard?
28. She got open drug case and felony obstruction. 24 PI 00. Shit, well, they left off a number, but this in Superior Court. 2024 failure to appear. The last violent charge I saw, I think, was 09 battery dismissed.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor, state's going to ask for $1,000 surety bond for the battery family violence. On May 26, 2025, officer was dispatched to 55 Hall Road Northwest regarding a disputed call for service, and upon arrival, the officer met with Mr. Derek Mitchell, the victim here. Mr. Mitchell said he and Ms. Swanson agreed she would move into his apartment as his caregiver. And Mr. Mitchell stated that ever since she moved, she has been abusive towards him, but this is the first time he's had to call the police. Mr. Mitchell said that earlier that day, he went inside Ms. Swanson's room to borrow her scissors, and she refused to lend him the scissors. So he told her to give him all the cleaning supplies in her room because he bought them with his money. He advised that when she got upset, she stated, I'm on whatever you're on. And Mr. Mitchell said he then told her that he just wanted her to leave. And that's when she got mad at him and headbutted him on the right side of his face. Mr. Mitchell had a knot and bruises between his right ear and right eye. Ms. Swanson had a knot in the middle of her forehead that corroborates Mr. Mitchell's statement. The state's going to ask for no further contact and stay away from the incident location. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons filed on bond.
Okay. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Ms. Swanson's 43 years old. She's has a certification in private nursing. She's has done hair service for people for at least 10 years, but she's also done daycare and caring for people. She asked the court to consider a signature bond in this case. A lot of that stuff that is in her arrest record, Your Honor, is pretty old. And the thing about the PSA was showing no prior violent convictions. So something must have been dropped in the past if it was violent at all. But as this case admittedly is, a accusation which she denies. Thank you.
Okay, you understand that the recent failure to appear disqualifies her from a signature bond. Her current bond is going to be $2,500. It's a surety bond. No further contact with Derek Mitchell, to stay away from 55 Far Road in Atlanta, Georgia. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. And her next court date is going to be June 10.
I got position 4, Judge, Mr. Chavez Rangel.
Okay. Jimmy Alejandro Chavez Rangel is accused of a fray fighting from May 7th of this year, case number 25CR3013J. Mr. Chavez Rangel, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Mr. Howard?
Me, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. McLeod? Okay, sorry about that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Second arrest. Got an open case for unlawful participation in criminal street gang. Ag assault. Ag battery. Possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission. It's 24 SC 004198.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred on May 22nd. The defendant was working at McDonald's located at 1465 Holcomb Bridge Road in Fulton County, Georgia. He was working behind the counter, and Mr. Bonilla was a patron who ordered food. He walked up to the counter where the orders were taken to begin to argue. And Mr. Bonilla set his bag of food on the ground, pulled up his pants, and makes fists. And the defendant came around, took his hat off, took his phone out of his pocket, and got into a stance, and then they began fighting. This space was in front of the ordering counter in the McDonald's lobby area, and the entire incident was captured on camera. The state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond. We're asking for no alcohol, drugs, or firearms while the defendant is out on bond. No contact with Mr. Jose Bonilla at all. We're not sure if the defendant is still employed at McDonald's, but if he's not, then we'd ask for a stay away from the incident location. And that'll be all for the state, Your
Honor. Okay, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is still employed there. I do have a video which I received from his family members, some of whom may be on the Zoom right now, Your Honor, showing what actually happened and to show that the alleged patron was the primary aggressor who started all of this and who attacked my client. He has no convictions, Your Honor. I know he has a previous arrest, but he's not been convicted of anything at this time, so I would ask the court to consider a signature bond for him. He's quite okay with no further contact with this person who is someone he does not know. In fact, my understanding is that his mom was contacted by the police, who said that the other person, that they had determined that the other person was the primary aggressor. So that everybody was surprised that my client was actually arrested because of this, Your Honor. And I would ask the court to take that into consideration. Nothing further.
$5,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Jose Bonilla. If that patron returns to the McDonald's, Mr. Chavez Rangel is required to leave the location and not serve that particular customer. Otherwise, with this other open case, one more arrest, and most likely he'll be staying at the jail for some time.
We don't anticipate any other arrests, Your Honor. He has a lot of family support, and Based on what he tells me, he plans to go to college, Your Honor.
Sounds good.
I have a question, Judge. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You need your video on?
Yes,
And for you?
with Jimmy Chavez Ringo.
Talk to Miss McLeod. She'll explain to you about the bond.
Yes, okay. You can call me.
Alrighty.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please remind your client that this is a second open case with Fulton County.
I understand, Your Honor, and I have already spoken to him about that.
All right. Thank you. I guess, Miss Bridgewater, this is per judge again.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. McLeod. Next case, courtroom 2.
No, Judge, I have position number 19, Williams.
Okay. 1919. Shantea Williams is accused of simple battery family violence from May 27th of this year. Her accusation is 25 CR 3028B. Ms. Williams, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Tyshawn Tucker. Any prize, Mr. Howard?
Second, 2024 trespass NOD.
Okay. Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's going to ask for a $2,000 signature bond for the theft by, I'm sorry, I think this is the simple battery, I'm sorry. Simple battery family violence. On May 27th, 2025, the defendant placed both of her hands on Iman Porter, the victim grabbing Miss Porter's jacket. The defendant pulled Miss Porter forward and pushed her backward multiple times in a shaking manner before pushing Miss Porter backward into a closed door. Miss Antoine, who is Miss Williams's mother, witnessed the physical altercation and was the initial caller for the incident. It was reported that the defendant was yelling at her family members outside the house using vulgar language, and Miss Williams' vulgar yelling had neighbors exiting their house to come outside, asking officers what was going on, disturbing the peace. Miss Williams and Miss Porter previously lived together approximately 6 years. The state was able to get in contact with the victim. The victim is the cousin of the defendant, and they do not live together. And the victim stated that she was called by the defendant's mother because the defendant was having a mental breakdown since 8 o'clock that morning. The victim stated that she came over to help and stated that the defendant did push her, but the defendant was in the middle of a mental episode and stated that they called the crisis line that came out, but did not help. The victim stated that the defendant suffers from MH issues and wasn't taking medication, has an issue with drugs here. And the victim stated that they never wanted the defendant to go to jail. They just wanted to get the defendant help. I believe the victim will be on Zoom here. State's going to ask for the defendant to take any appropriate medications and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Iman Porter. I think I saw her somewhere here. I don't know. There she is. I mean, I see her Zoom panel. If she wants to say anything, this will be the time to unmute and start your video. All right, Ms. Tucker.
Your Honor, this is the mother. I don't. Iman is my niece. I'm the one. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Iman Porter is my niece. She was the
Raise
victim.
your right hand. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Does Iman Porter live with you at 1650 Salem Ferry in Johns Creek?
No.
Does the defendant live with you at that location? You can put your hand down.
Okay. My daughter, she's in and out. It's 1600 Stephen Ferry Road. I'm the. It was at my house where everything happened.
But she doesn't live with you.
Oh, my daughter, Santia.
Yes. Does she live with you?
In and out. She lives somewhere else, but she comes to my home quite often.
So she comes as a guest?
More as a family member. You could say guest.
A guest is someone who leaves after they visit you?
Yes.
Okay. And what about Iman Porter? Does your cousin visit you as well?
That's my niece.
Oh, your niece, sorry. Your
Yeah,
niece?
she visited me because My daughter was out of control, like she was having a psychotic episode. So Iman Dillon, that she, knows about that. She's a nurse, know with psych patients. We're not from here. We're from Los Angeles, and we just moved out here. And my daughter, she was having an episode where she was screaming.
Sorry. Los Angeles is not a foreign country. The last time I checked.
No. I'm just saying we just moved to
Like this
Atlanta.
happen in LA like they happen in Atlanta. Okay. Now, my question to you is, what kind of contact do you want with your daughter, Santea?
I want my daughter to get professional help. She has mental issues. She's a beautiful person, but when I called the crisis hotline, they were not able to do anything because she have to give them consent to do it. So I need her to get some type of psychological help.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Ms. Tucker, anything else to add?
Just that my client is at the age of 47. She recently relocated to the area. She has a limited criminal history, and that we have no objections to the signature bond.
Okay. Bond is set at 2,500. It's a signature bond through pretrial services level 2. She will report to pretrial twice a month. No further contact with Roslyn, I guess that's Williams.
I'm her mother, so she's going to be in contact with me. I mean, that's my daughter.
No further violent contact with Roslyn Williams.
Antoine.
Your last name?
Antoine.
Oh, Roslyn Antoine. No further contact with Emon Tucker, Emon Porter. Okay.
No, she can have, she's family, so I don't have a problem having contact with her.
I know you don't have a problem, but now that she's got an open, violent case, now it's my problem. And my problem, I say no contact with the victim.
Well, we have family functions and stuff, so how would that work? That's what I'm asking.
Either you go or Miss Williams go. Let mom decide who's going to be at that day. The other thing also is that, mom, if you want to visit Santea, you go to her place. She's no longer welcome at your home at 1650 Statham Ferry in Johns Creek. She must enroll in a mental health program within 30 days of being released, and she will get an evaluation to determine whether any treatment, counseling, or medication is required. She must show proof that she has undertaken an MHET to the pretrial officer by her third visit. This is very critical because if it turns out that there is no MH problem, great. But if there is, she must comply with all the treatment and counseling and medication that's required by the evaluator. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. Mom can come visit you, and mom can have communication with you, but you cannot go to her house in Johns Creek. Do you understand, Miss Williams? Okay. You report to pretrial twice a month, and you make sure you get your evaluation done within the next 30 days. She'll also complete 2 anger awareness classes with pretrial services. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Seven next to us, Mr. Daniels.
Daniels. This is State versus Glenn Daniels, accused of theft by shoplifting from May 27th of this year, case number 25CR3012E. Mr. Daniels, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Mr. Chate. And sorry, Mr. Chate, he's got 2 counts. One is theft by shoplifting, one is criminal trespass. Any crimes?
28. Got an open terrorist threat, simple battery. It's 25 SC 003 003. On probation for ag stalking. 22 SC 182830. 2024 probation, 22 failure to appear. 21 simple battery DV conviction. And 2011 FTA simple assault conviction.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred on May 27th. Officers responded to 1917 Prior Road Southwest in reference to a larceny theft. When they arrived on the scene, they spoke to Shiva Dagdaka, who is an employee of Exxon. She stated that this defendant has been coming into the store and stealing items for the past month. Altogether, the items were about $40 to $50. She showed officers a video of a male with a bright orange jacket with the words "Crush" printed on the back, glasses, and a hat. And officers observed him on video taking several snack items and walking past all points of sale without purchasing them. Ms. Shiva did state that the male was previously criminally trespassed from the location, and officers verified that trespass warning. It was issued for a Mr. Glenn Kirk Daniels with the same date of birth as the defendant. A few hours later, officers were patrolling the area and noticed someone walking with the same orange crush jacket and red hat that they'd observed in the video earlier. So he was immediately detained, and upon detaining the male, officers identified him as Glenn Kirk Daniels, the defendant, and he was taken into custody. The state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond. We're asking for no contact with Shiva Dagdiga and all of the employees at the Exxon. So we want to do a full stay away from the Exxon at 1917 Prior Street permanently because he's already banned from there. And no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And that'll be all for the state.
Mr. Shatane?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client asked for the lowest bond possible, and if allowable, a signature bond. He's 42 years old. He is a lifelong resident of the Atlanta area. He finished school up to the 10th grade, and most recently he worked for Wellstar doing medical equipment installations, and he did that on and off for about 7 years. So he has had a stable employment history. For those reasons, Your Honor, I ask the court to consider the lowest possible bond for Mr. Daniels.
All right, it's 1,000 on each count. Total bond is 2,000. It's a surety bond. Stay 200 yards away from the entire Exxon gas station, including the parking lot, the sidewalks, and the building. And this would be at 1917 Prior Road in Atlanta, Georgia. No further contact with Ms. Shiva, as well as all other staff members at that gas station. Next court date is June 10th. Courtroom 2, please unmute. Mr. Daniels, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you.
Mr. Daniels, I advise that you don't talk about the case. These hearings are recorded and observed by the prosecutor. So if you say anything here, it can be used against you in a future proceeding.
Can I ask a question?
It's up to you.
Is there any way I can get a signature bond now?
You've got an open felony case. You've got a 2024 failure to appear, and you also have an open probation case. And given the nature of the allegations, you don't qualify for a surety bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, you don't qualify for a signature bond. All right, see you in court on June 10th unless you bond out. Next case.
Come on, Freeman. Position 8, Mr. Freeman.
McCray. I'm sorry, did you say position number 10?
Position 8, Mr. Freeman.
8, sorry. Okay. I have Tevin Rashad Freeman. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Freeman's accused of simple assault, family violence, and terroristic threats and acts from May 11th of this year. Case number 25 CR 3026Y. Mr. Freeman, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is going to be Ms. McLeod. Any prize, Mr. Howard?
30. On probation in Clayton County, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. On probation in Douglas County, theft by receiving property in another state. 2020 probation, 2020 battery DV conviction, 2015 ag assault, 3 counts, NOLO, 2015 FTA, 13 ag assault conviction.
Thank you.
Oh,
Something else?
09 simple battery no low, 08 battery DV no low.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. On May 14th, officers were met at the precinct by Miss Bernique Dix and a minor ZD. Miss Dix advised that she picked up her child's father, the defendant, to help her get groceries and give her gas money. They stopped at a Krispy Kreme restaurant. And their minor daughter, ZD, recorded him entering the vehicle, and he was upset, apparently about seeing her and her sister. So there's a video of him addressing the minor daughter, stating, "I'll beat the S out of your MFN A. I'll slap you," more vulgarities, and "think your mom can save you." Just vulgarities. And the Ms. Dix reported to officers at the time that there was past domestic violence issues, and that the defendant doesn't get along with their children. So she wanted to document the incident to provide to her lawyer. In light of the defendant's criminal history, the state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond. That's $500 on each count. No contact with the victim or her mother. We were not able to get in contact with the victim today, Your Honor, and that's why we're asking for no contact. And no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. That'll be all.
Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. This is a very interesting situation, Your Honor, because my client tells me that these children are currently in the custody of the state. And the reason why he even saw them, their mom was not there, is that he was told by someone he knows that they were seen at Greenbrier Mall in a kind of a state of undress almost, and they're very young girls. So he actually went to Greenbrier Mall to find them because he tells me that they have just essentially been running wild. They don't live with him. They were formerly in the custody of the mother, but they were taken into custody by defects because there were some allegations that they had been committing crimes. So when my client was told that they were there, he tried to get them, because they're only, I believe, 13 and 15. They're fairly young girls. And he was just talking to them like a father. He was pretty upset about what was going on, about their behavior and so on. He tells me that he's been trying to get custody of them. Apparently, he also has two sons, of whom he recently got custody from the system, from DFACS. But they were all with mom, and has custody of the boys, and he's hoping that he can get custody of the girls. My client doesn't have any recent criminal history. He tells me that he's now married. He has a home in Clayton County where he lives with his wife, and he's just trying to look out for his children. There's no allegation that he struck them or anything like that. This is just a situation where a vengeful ex, the mother of the children, is trying to make up a story about my client. And all he was doing was being a father to these girls who obviously desperately need some kind of father figure in their life. Nothing further, Your Honor.
On each count is going to be $1,000 surety. No further contact with Bernique Dix. No further contact with ZD. And if he wishes to have a more active role in the children's affairs, he needs to file a legitimation action and obtain joint custody rights or visitation so that he may play a more fatherly role. Well, right now I'm not going to order him to a parenting class, but I highly recommend one. Next court date is June 10th. Courtroom 2, please unmute.
Mr. Freeman, is this about your bond?
No, no, ma'am. I was gonna say I already I already have like parenting stuff with with my daughters. Like I have custody of the boys, and they're by the same woman. So I mean, in the process of what's going on right now, they're trying to give me custody of the girls, but the mom is like she's fighting with me. So like
Have you filed a legitimation action?
I already been through all of that. Like I've been
Filed a legitimation action.
yes, ma'am. I've been legitimized by the
No, have you filed one in the Superior Court of Fulton County?
ma'am.
All right. I will look it up and see what's going on.
Yeah, and Okay, so you're saying I have a bond, a $2,000 bond total, right?
2,000 surety, yes. And you have to have no contact with Bernice Dix and no contact with Zanaya Dix.
Miracle Williams.
Next court date is June 10th.
Got position 10, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Wait, you're welcome, Ms. Bluff. So next position is position 10. ACDC is done. Have we completed everything there?
Yes,
Okay.
Judge. You got position 10 next, Mr. Jones.
This is Clarence Jones. Mr. Jones' accusation number is 25 CR 3022F. Mr. Jones has got 6 cruelty to animals charges stemming from May 27th, 2025. You have been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean.
Third arrest, 2010 marijuana possession. 09 simple assault trespass dismissed.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. On May 15th, 2025, Fulton County Animal Control received an animal cruelty complaint from Miss Lolita Hutchins. She's the neighbor of 608 Rays Lane, Atlanta, Georgia. Ms. Hutchins' Ring doorbell camera captured an incident on May 13th at approximately 7:15 a.m. The doorbell Ring camera showed a man, later identified as the defendant, Mr. Clarence Earl Jones, at the residence dragging a large brown canine by the leash on the concrete. In the video, it seemed like the dog didn't want to walk. The defendant picked the canine up by the collar and throws the dog back on the ground, yelling for the dog to get up. And the dog appeared to be frightful of the defendant. Ms. Hutchins showed officers the ground on her property where it's sinking in due to water, feces, and urine being sprayed over the fence line. And from her bathroom windows, officers were able to observe 6 large kennels housing extra large canines in Mr. Jones' backyard. They did attempt to make contact with the defendant at that time and knocked on the door of the residence, and no one answered the door. So 4 days later, on May 19th, Fulton County Animal Control officers arrived at 608 Rays Lane to do a welfare check on the canines. The defendant allowed animal control officers inside of the residence at that time. And at that time, officers noticed 13 French bulldogs housed in black metal kennels, like stacked on top of each other in a room. The front room of the residence also had another gray, a light tan female dog and another tan dog. The right side of the room had another female merle dog and a white fluffy dog in a separate kennel. Officers entered the backyard and approached the 6 metal kennels that they saw from next door, and those each had a cane corso inside. Adjacent to that enclosure was on the right side of the backyard, there were 5 more enclosures with 4 dogs in those enclosures. They were all cane corsos. Officers at the time were only able to establish 7 out of 18 rabies vaccination forms. Ms. Hutchins then provided officers with a video from March 25th, which shows the defendant attempted to bathe one of the cane corsos. He got upset with the dog and started to strike the dog multiple times with a closed fist. And then he picked the dog up and body slammed the dog in a violent manner. In light of all of this, the state's recommendation here is a $6,000 surety bond. We're asking for the defendant to surrender possession of any animals or pets. We're asking for the court to prohibit the defendant from having any pets or residing at any location with animals. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And that'll be all for the state.
All right. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, 44-year-old Clarence Jones, as was mentioned before, he has, or the PSA says, he has no prior felony convictions, no prior misdemeanor convictions, no prior convictions at all, no FTAs. His last arrest was marijuana 15 years ago. under those circumstances, while these are serious allegations that have been made, I should note he is a high school graduate. He's an electrician, and he has no convictions at all. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond in this situation.
Bond is set at $5,000 on each count. That's going to be a $30,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 2. Mr. Jones can sign up for the bond, but he's not allowed to own any live animals. I don't care what kind of animal, 2-legged, 4-legged, feathered, beak, I don't care, scales, not allowed. He's not to engage in any kind of business involving live animals. He is to report to pretrial twice a month. He is to enroll in a program that they refer to as BARC within 60 days of being released and show proof that he has enrolled in such a program to his pretrial officer. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. He is to surrender all live animals that he has in his home to Fulton County Animal Control, or Ms. Harrison, you would contact Animal Control to confiscate all the live animals at that property.
Yes, sure.
Mr. Jones, if you violate any of these conditions, please be mindful that you will be subject to either a $30,000 surety bond or a cash bond. Presently, according to the warrants that have been issued, apparently something must have been impacted the judge because they issued a $60,000 cash bond. So you decide whether a $60,000 cash bond is more appropriate or this one. If you violate the conditions of the bond, it could be changed to a cash bond quite easily. Animal control is also required to periodically check on the location to make sure that Mr. Jones does not have any live animals on the property and is not engaged in any kind of business involving live animals. Thank you.
Position 14, Mr. Skinner.
Jerry Skinner is accused of battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence. His accusation number is 25 CR 3019C. Incident date appears to be May 27th of this year. And Mr. Skinner, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
9. Got open trespass and damage to property. It's 24 CR 005-031C. 2017 probation, 16 battery DV NOLO, 13 burglary conviction, and a 2011 cruelty in the first offender.
Thank you. Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's going to ask for a $1,500 surety bond for the battery, family violence, as well as $1,500 surety for the simple battery, family violence. On May 27, 2025, officers were dispatched to 1856 Wells Drive Southwest, apartment 508. Officers made their way upstairs and made contact with Miss Jasmine Lloyd, who opened the door for them. Officers observed a bleeding laceration on Miss Lloyd's left eyebrow and another on her left forearm. She explained that she got into a verbal altercation that turned physical with her live-in boyfriend, Mr. Jerry Skinner, inside of the apartment, and she explained that he punched her in the face and threw her around the apartment. Now, Ms. Lloyd also explained that Mr. Skinner left the apartment out the back door, and Mr. Skinner explained that they didn't get into an argument. They ended up wrestling in the apartment due to Ms. Lloyd not allowing Mr. Skinner to leave the location. Mr. Skinner stated that Ms. Lloyd's lacerations were caused by her falling on a briefcase. Now, Mr. Skinner was previously arrested in Henry County for an incident that occurred in Atlanta, which Ms. Lloyd was a victim at 140 Pine Street Northeast last year. And then that criminal trespass that was noted by a pretrial of the criminal trespass, the damage to properties has the same victim as well. It's a 24 CR 005031C. State's going to ask for a no for the contact, definitely to promote a cooling off period here. Stay away from the incident location, anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right. Is there a Jasmine Lloyd on Zoom? No? Okay. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, 32-year-old Jerry Skinner is a Georgian. He lives in Riverdale. High school education. He's been barbering for 2 years. He's licensed to do barbering, and he's worked in the warehouses before that. Considering what we've heard on the arrest record, we would ask the court to consider the lowest bond possible. If that's a signature bond, we would ask for that. If not, then a $1,000 short.
On the battery family violence, that's going to be a 2,500 cash bond only. On the simple battery, it's going to be a 500 cash bond only. This is a 3,000 cash bond only. Mr. Skinner is already under a no further contact and stay away with regards to Jasmine Lloyd. So this incident allegedly violates that previous bond order. He's also got a bench warrant and a failure to appear in the previous case, 24 CR 005031C. Once he makes bond, please remember you are to stay 200 yards away from Jasmine Lloyd. You're not to contact her in any way, form, or manner. You're not to be in the same space or same home with her. And no illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. His next court date is going to be June 10th, and we're going to address the new case and his older case, 24 CR 005031C. The signature bond in the older case is surrendered. Thank you.
Repeat that case number again from the other one.
24 CR 005031C.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Position 15, Mr. Stanley.
Archie Daniel Stanley is accused of criminal trespass on May 27th of this year. His case number is 25 CR 3021D. Mr. Stanley, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean.
It's interesting. You got to open possession of controlled substance by prison or jail premise. It's out of Wake County, North Carolina. 2021 intoxicated disruptive conviction. 2011 FTA. And he's a resident of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Thank you. Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor. State's going to ask for $500 surety for the criminal trespass on May 27, 2025. Defendant refused to leave the MARTA station. After several requests and verbal commands, defendant was subsequently arrested. Defendant has history out of North Carolina, 05 felony possession, marijuana, 2005 felony probation violation, 2011 larceny arrest and an FTA there, along with the criminal history presented by pretrial. State's going to ask for a stay away from the incident location unless the defendant has a valid MARTA pass and has business to travel there, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right. Mr. McLean?
He's 41 years old, from North Carolina originally. He's been in Atlanta several years. He's a brick mason, Your Honor, and a high school graduate. He lives in Sandy Springs, but works on the east side of town in Metro Atlanta. And it's really, really going to be impossible just about to get to work. I wondered if he might be able to ride the bus, even if the court were to ban him from the train. And I don't know if the system works or is fashioned in such a way that that will really get him there. But we would ask for any break that the court could give him. We ask for the lowest possible bond. Your Honor, as far as bonding companies go, I think a $500 bond is something they don't touch because they don't make any profit off of it to speak of. So a $1,000 surety bond would be preferable to a $500 surety bond, but we would ask the court to consider a signature bond if that's possible.
I don't have an updated address for him, and so it'll be difficult at this time. Bond will be set at 1,000 surety bond. Next court date is June 10th. He's not allowed to use any of the MARTA services unless he is a valid paying customer and he has no violent contact with anyone on board the trains and the buses and the stations. Thank you.
What was that total bond, Judge?
$1,000 surety. And on position number 14, Jerry Skinner, that's a $3,000 cash bond in total.
$1,500 on each. My bad.
2,500 on the battery, 500 on simple battery. Next case, please.
Position 17, Mr. White.
Mr. Y.A. White is accused of criminal trespass, battery, and terroristic threats and acts from May 27, 2025. Case number is 25 CR 3025H. Mr. White, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Tucker. Any priors?
It's fifth. Got an open case out of Butts County for obstruction. Open case out of Monroe County, Ag Battery, 2020 FTA, 2024 probation.
Probation. Okay. Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor. State's going to ask for a $500 surety bond for the criminal trespass, $1,000 surety for the battery, and a $250 surety for the terroristic threats. On May 27, 2025, officers responded to the emergency room of Grady Hospital to investigate a possible disturbance between Grady Public Safety Security and a patient. Corporal Mays stated that the suspect, who was later identified as the defendant, came to the emergency room for medical treatment. And while waiting for the treatment, Mr. White went into the restroom and then began to take a bath and wash his clothes. And Corporal stated he advised Mr. White that he could not do that and needed him to exit the restroom. He also stated that instead of exiting the restroom, Mr. White stated to him and Officer Hillman that he was going to expletive them up, and stated that Mr. White then began to put his hands in their face and grab his cell phone. Officer stated that he told Mr. White again to grab his belongings and leave the property. He failed to do so, became irate, and a struggle ensued. The officer Hillman stated that Mr. White struck him with a closed fist and grabbed him by the collar and pulled him into the wall. Now, Officer Hillman stated he struck his head on the wall, and Officer Hillman sustained a swollen black left eye and was evaluated for a possible concussion. He does have Maryland history, warrant out of Lawrenceville for the FTA, and the state's going to ask for stay away from the Grady unless receiving medical treatment. A social worker, I don't know if there's any housing needs or issues here. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes, so Mr. White is 26 years of age. I do have a current address for him where he has resided over the past 3 years. He's been in the Metro Atlanta area over the past 4 years. He just recently started new employment at Case Source. So he hasn't received his first paycheck yet. So as of now, he does not have income. And because of that, we are requesting a signature bond today.
Okay. His bond is going to be 500 on each count. That's a 1,500 surety bond to stay away from Grady Hospital unless he has a valid appointment with a healthcare provider or he's seeking emergency treatment. He's to use the facilities at the hospital in an appropriate manner. Those are not his personal bathrooms, no shower facilities. And his next court date is June 10th. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Courtroom 2, if you want to unmute. So,
so was I approved for my signature bond?
you don't qualify, sir. You have a 2020 FTA and you have an open probation with Signet, and given the allegations, no, you don't.
Ma'am, the FTA in Maryland is for a traffic ticket.
Yeah, but the law in Georgia is still, if you have a failure to appear, you don't qualify for a signature bond.
Ma'am, I don't have the funds to pay the bond, nor do I have any family down here to help me out with that situation. And then I also,
Then we will see you on June 10th.
but I have a prior court date. I have to take care of the bond, the issue out in I believe that's Macon, Georgia. I have to take care of that on June 3rd. I have a court date on June 3rd. That's why I was trying to get the signature bond so I can be able to take care of everything and also keep my job in the same process. If I'm
A lot of things going on. Okay. Ms. Tucker, please make sure that you respond to either Monroe, I think, or Butts County, that he's currently incarcerated at Fulton County Jail and unable to make his court date.
Yes, Your Honor.
You can sit over there. Sit in the front over there.
You got position 20, Mr. Yancey.
What's going on with Kevin Whiteside, position 18? Are we holding that up?
Waive his appearance, Judge.
Waived.
Okay.
And what about position 6? Mr. Collins?
Waive his appearance.
Okay, thank you. Six, 18. Demetrius Bansi is accused of 3 counts of simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass from July 30th of last year, 25 CR 30298. Mr. Bansi, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Tucker. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
No.
Okay, closed arrest. Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor. State's going to ask for $500 surety bond for simple battery, family violence, 500 surety for the simple battery, family violence. I think count 2, count 3, $500 surety for the simple battery, family violence, and lastly, $500 surety for the criminal trespass. On this occurred actually July 30th, 2024. Officer was dispatched to 55 Milton Avenue, Southwest, about a domestic dispute, and upon arrival, the officer met with Miss Janelle Kramer. Last name spelled Kramer. Victim stated that her ex-living boyfriend, Mr. Demetrius Yancey, assaulted her after a verbal dispute after discovering Mr. Yancey was cheating on her with multiple women. Victim stated that she had contacted the women via phone calls and text messages to get some form of proof of Mr. Yancey's actions. After gathering evidence, the victim confronted Mr. Yancey about her findings. Now, Ms. Kramer advised that at this time, Mr. Yancey became irate and snatched her cell phone out of her hand and threatened to erase her entire phone, which upset her. So she started following Mr. Yancey around the apartment, demanding the return of the cell phone. The victim stated that after being unable to retrieve her cell phone from Mr. Yancey, she called the police for assistance. After realizing the victim called the police, Ms. Yancey returned her cell phone, and the victim left the location so that Mr. Yancey could pack his belongings. Once she returned to the location, Ms. Yancey advised that she had observed Ms. Kramer, advised that she had observed Mr. Yancey in the parking lot, and at this time she approached him to ask him to return her door key fob to the building. Ms. Kramer advised that Mr. Yancey did not respond to her. At that time, Ms. Kramer stated that she mentioned something about the cheating, and that's when Ms. Yancey became irate and started strangling her and throwing her on top of an orange Audi parked nearby while he continued to strangle her. Ms. Kramer advised that once Mr. Yancey released his hands from around her neck, he walked back into her apartment building, and then Ms. Kramer followed behind Ms. Yancey, and while they were waiting on the elevator, he strangled her again and slapped her in the face with an open hand. We've been able to speak with the victim. The victim and the defendant are no longer in a relationship. They no longer live together. They share no children. Victim stated that she does not remember everything because there was alcohol involved, and victim stated that at no point was she unable to breathe or felt like she was going to pass out. She also stated that the defendant has never been violent with her before, and the victim stated that her and the defendant have never been in contact since this incident, and there has been no violence since. Victim stated that she does not wish to press charges and wants to continue contact with the defendant. I believe the victim will be on Zoom. State's going to ask for no further contact or with the victim, anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons filed on bond.
No. Ms. Janelle Kramer, if you want to say anything, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge? Could you do a testing 1, 2, 3? Can't hear you. Your audio is not connected.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. So
You
do
can?
swear?
Yes.
What would you like to tell us?
Your Honor, I feel very privileged today to be able to speak directly to you. Earlier, I was contacted by a victim advocate. I just wanted to explain what exactly happened that day. I actually wrote down everything that I need to say. So if you see me looking away at my camera, it's because it's in my notes. So my name is Janelle Kramer. I am the alleged victim in the above referenced case. I am making this statement voluntarily and respectfully to ask that the charges against Demetrius Yancey be dismissed. I know that's in the hands of the prosecutor, but I just want to tell my version of the story months after it actually happened. As far as the actual
Has he had any contact with you since this incident?
To be honest, yes. We've taken trips. He's like a stepfather to my son. We've hung out, and I don't feel threatened or harmed by him at all. I really just think it was a lot of things that went on that night between both of us. I'm holding myself accountable as well. That just took a left turn, and it really just blew out of proportion.
Okay, and that's all you need to say. Thank you so much.
Can I say anything else?
No, that's good. Thank you. Ms. Tucker, on each count is going to be a 2,000 and the trespass is 1. This is a $7,000 signature bond through pretrial services level 1. No further violent contact with Janelle Kramer. He's not to engage in any physical or verbal altercations with her, though he can still communicate with her in an amicable and friendly manner if he wants to. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no firearms. He may be subject to random screens. This is a first arrest, so I'm going to require him to enroll in a domestic violence intervention program within 30 days of being released. And he will complete all 26 classes at his expense. Not only is it good for the soul, but it also may go a long way in trying to resolve the case in your favor. Your next court date will be sent to your current mailing address. Please do not fail to appear in court when summoned, and please do not get arrested because that's just a recipe for your signature bond to disappear. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Kramer, did you understand that?
Yes, I fully understood it.
Okay, and I don't want you to engage in going into a lot of details because the prosecutor is here and I'd rather not flesh out details that they could use against him.
Okay, I truly understand.
Okay, you're free to go.
Okay, thank you.
Position number 6, I believe, Demetrius Collins. Who's representing him? Mr. Shate?
That's my case, Your Honor.
All right, position 6, Demetrius Collins is accused of obscured or missing license plate, willful obstruction of an officer's seatbelt violation, and fleeing or attempting to elude from March 16th of last year, case number 25 CR 3011A. He's represented by counsel, Mr. Shate, who has waived his appearance. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
8. Went to felony earlier for death by taking. 2025 possession of marijuana. 2018 reckless conduct that was dismissed.
Yeah.
Had a 2013 burglary amended to theft by receiving conviction. And a 2012 involuntary first offender.
All right, thank you. This is going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail on each count, so a total of $4,000 signature bond through the jail. The next court date is June 10th, unless he's released on his felony case. No driving unless he has a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration. All right. Next one was, oh gosh, I think it was 18. And this is Kayvon Lavelle Whiteside, accused of theft by taking from April 26th of this year, case number 25 CR 003027C. And Mr. Whiteside has also waived his appearance through counsel. Who's his attorney? Mr. McLean, Ms. Tucker, Mr. Shate? No one? Mr. McLean?
Let me check the list, Your Honor.
Okay. Who waived his appearance? Miss Bridgewater, do you know?
I don't know, Your Honor. I have not received any waivers.
Oh, okay.
I know I've got a master list here somewhere. I'll turn back to this.
Attorney Alex Tay or Attorney Tyshawn Tucker, is Kevon Whiteside your client? Position
I believe that's I believe that's Miss Tucker's case.
Ms. Tucker?
And if I may, Your Honor, for those of you who have filed waivers, please make sure you send me a copy of it, please.
All right, let's hold off on position 18 until Ms. Tucker appears. Mr. Chatay or Mr. McLean, can you call her or text her or email her, let her know we're waiting on her for position 18. Meanwhile,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
it. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Ms. Tucker, you
Yes.
represent Mr. Kevin Whiteside?
Yes, he said he wanted to waive.
Okay, and you need to file a written waiver of his appearance and email that to Miss Holly Bridgewater.
Oh, yes, I did send one.
Did you send it to holly.bridgewater@fultoncountyga.gov?
I do apologize. I sent it to Mr. Michael Jordan. That
That's
was the issue. Okay,
fine.
I'll send it over.
Submit to Miss Bridgewater. Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
Whiteside's accused of theft by taking, and this is from April 26, case number 25 CR 3027C. He's got oh dear. Okay.
Yeah, you've been looking at Odyssey, huh?
Yes, it finally pulled up. How many FTAs, Mr. Howard?
3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I think
About 6. You saw the open burglary?
yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Mr. Nixon?
Yes, Your Honor. Say was going to ask for a $2,000 surety bond for theft by taking. It occurred on April 27th, 2025. The defendant was on Georgia Tech cameras approaching the Tin Drum restaurant where the defendant looked at several bikes and then approached the victim's bike. Victim, first name L.O., last name H.S.I.N.G. The defendant is then seen removing the bike from the bike rack and riding away on the victim's bike. You've heard the criminal history, numerous thefts. State's going to ask for a stay away from all Georgia Tech campuses, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out and bond.
Yes, Ms. Tucker.
Yes, my apologies. We are going to be asking for the lowest possible bond in this case. If a signature bond is possible, if not, the lowest possible surety.
Okay. It's going to be a $2,000 surety bond to stay away from the Tin Drum restaurant in question and all Georgia State property. Next court date is June 10th. And he's also got a probation hold as well, 25 PV 001 100. And that may be, that's related to an underlying felony case, 23 SC 189433. All right, so we'll see him on June 10th unless his hold gets resolved. Okay, let's just go over the calendar. Position 1, Atkins was a 2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Position 2 is a 4,500 signature bond through pretrial. Let me clarify that. Let me change that. Position 2 is a $7,000 split bond with 2,500 surety and then 4,500 signature bond through pretrial level 3. Position 3, Brunson is a 1,500 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 4, Chavez Wrangle is a 5,000 signature bond through the jail. 6, Choi is a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1.
What's that contact?
Telephone reporting with who? Choi?
Yes.
No violent contact. Collins, position 6, is a 4,000 signature bond through the jail. Reset date June 10th. Position 7, Daniels, is a $2,000 surety. Reset June 10th. Freeman's a 2,000 surety. Reset June 10th. 9, Graham is a 1,500 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 10, Clarence Jones is a $30,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2 with a requirement to enroll in BARC, B-A-R-C program within 60 days. Position 11, Pamezi is a 3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 with 2 anger awareness classes. Position 12, Nichols is a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Mr. McLean, does she have any holes or do I need to reset her to June 10th?
I can take a look. I've got my Odyssey open. Let's see.
This would be Nicole Nichols, position 12. But in the meantime, position 12, Ola Kadana is a 2,000 signature bond to pretrial level 1 with a DVIP. Skinner is a 3,000 cash bond only, and we're going to reset it with his other open state court case. 15, Stanley is a $1,000 surety bond, reset June 10th. 16, Swanson's a 2,500 surety, reset June 10th. 17, White is a 1,500 surety, reset June 10th. 18, Whiteside's a $2,000 surety, reset June 10th. 19, Williams is a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial level 2, 2 anger awareness classes. 20, Yancey is a $7,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 with the effort requirement.
Your Honor, on position 6, it has a total of a $4,000 SOB through the jail.
Correct.
But yet you said you wanted it going to the SAP calendar?
Yeah, I don't, because she has an open felony case and she may still be at the jail.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, he may still be at the jail, sorry.
Okay.
Mr. McLean, anything? Do you know? I just want to know whether you want me to reset her to June 10th or keep it as is for the notice.
I think keep it as is, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I'm using the advanced search for the booking number. So let's see what pops up.
Okay. Are there any questions? All right, folks. Other than Miss Bridgewater and Mr. McLean, everybody else is free to go. Oh, I'm sorry, and Miss Grace. Otherwise. All right, y'all have a great. What day is today? Wednesday. So take care.
Been long.
It's a short week, so I have to keep up. Take care, Mr. Nixon.
Yes.
Your Honor, I don't see any other holds on the booking number. It's just one count of obstruction.
All right, sounds good. We'll leave it as is. All right, Deputy in courtroom 2. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.